morning everyone. In the last video, we have seen the a priori algorithm, which is basically used in market-based analysis. And in market-based analysis, we have seen that the a priori algorithm is basically used to generate the frequent item sets from the transactions. Also, we have seen in last video that there are the two parameters, support and confidence, and by only that two parameters we are going to run and execute our a priori algorithm. So today we'll solve one numerical based on that algorithm. So first let's understand the question and what are the given prior values is given in the question. Let's see here. The total number of transactions which is given is 9 transactions, and in each transaction it is mentioned that how many items have been purchased. So here I1, I2, I5, these are the item number which has been purchased under the transaction T1. So this is the list which is given to you. Apart from that, the two minimum, that is a bare minimum requirement value is to be provided for this, and that is called as your support and confidence. Here this minimum support, that is a threshold value which is already provided in the question, is 2, and the confidence is equal to 60%. I hope the confidence parameter you all remember, it's all dependent upon the association rule. The association rule is basically derived if x then y. So the two parameters of count, support value and the confidence is to be given in the a priori problem. So let's see how to solve and how the iteration 1 will go. So in the right hand side column, we are going to create a candidate table. What does a candidate table means? Candidate table for the first iteration says that the number of total items individually which are present over the transactions need to be write individually. So we have seen that we are having total 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 elements or the items which is present in the transactions. So we have already written these are my item sets. Now parallelly we have to write down the support value. Now what is the support and how we are going to calculate it? The support says how many times an item has been purchased. So what is the value of I1? They all will be a positive integer value, right? So we'll see I1 count. So I1 count will be considered from the base table. The base table is whatever the value which is given in your question is considered as your base table. So we'll count that how many times in the single transaction I1 has been purchased. So we'll count I1 over the transaction T1, in the T4, T5, T7, T8 and T9. It means that I1 support count total is 6, and how we have counted, जितनी बार आपके transactions में I1 की count की value है, that shows that you have purchased I1 in these transactions. And for all the remaining items, we are going to count the support or the threshold. Let's say how many times I4 has been purchased. So we'll scan our base table and we'll see I4 has been purchased under the transaction of T2 and T4. So what will be the count? The count is 2. So my first table is created, which is called as candidate table and denoted as C1 from the base table. But here in the iteration, we have seen that at the initial we are going to create a candidate table, and in the next table we are going to prune. Prune means we are going to leave that items who are not going to support the threshold. It means this pruning table is going to generate it from the candidate table. Let's see how many items are there which is not going to support the threshold value. So we can see here that every item is ensuring the 2 value. It means that they have been purchased over the 2 times. So every individual items is ensuring the support count. It means, and the conclusion is that no item is going to be pruned over this iteration. So my next pruned table, which is again on the left hand side, is all the items from I1 to I5 because they are ensuring the support count 2. So here at this particular column, my iteration 1 has been done, where we have generated the 2 tables. It means at each iterations we are going to generate 2 tables. One is called as a candidate and the second one is your pruned tuple values. So here this is the final conclusion from the iteration 1. Do we need to stop here or terminate our iteration? No. We'll continue till we are having the frequent item set with us, and we'll stop the iteration where the repetition or the redundancy will come. Let's see how to generate the next C2 table or the candidate table. Now class, in this case what we'll do, whatever the elements is given to you, we are going to create its subset. Subset in sense, now the subset will be the length of 2 items. So how many elements are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We are going to create the subsets of each individual items and going to write over the item set. So we can see from 1 to 5 transaction, the subsets will be 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4, 1, 5 and so on. So total tuple values here will be the mode from your base table, and we have written over the second candidate table. Now parallelly what we'll write? We'll write the support or threshold value. Now what will be the change in this table? What will be the change in the candidate 2? The change will be, now we are going to count or we are going to find the support value where this I1 and I2 has been purchased together. These 2 elements has been purchased together. Now from where we are going to check? We are going to check again from our base table which is given in the question. So we'll see in the base question that how many times this I1 and I2 has been purchased. So we'll see this is a 1 count, 2, 3 and 4. Over the 4 rows, over the 4 tuples, we can see that this item 1 and this is a union. It means that we have to see both the elements to be included. We need to find the inclusion of both the values. So this count is 4. It means I1 and I2 combinedly purchased 4 times. And it means that we are going to calculate for each value, for each row. Let's say take I2 and I4. It's a very random value which we have taken I2 and I4, and we'll see over the base table I2 and I4 how many times it has been purchased, and we can see this total count is only 2. So we have written that positive integer value in front of that. Now class, we have seen that once we are going to create the candidate table, the next iteration says you have to prune those rows which are not ensuring the support count of 2. Why the 2? Because it's a prior value which is given in the question. So we can see here that last 3 rows is giving you the support value as 0, 1 and 0. It means that they are not ensuring the minimum condition of support. So for the next iteration, we'll directly prune this row and that will not be the part of my final conclusion. So for the next iteration, these 3 rows will be eliminated and we will be restricted only with the first 7 rows. So my final answer in the next after the pruning is I1, I2 4 times. Every tuple, every row is ensuring either the value of 4 or the 2, that is a minimum threshold value. Again, by this step, by this pruning step, we are done with the iteration 2. And we are not going to terminate here. What will be our next step? Our next step will be that we are going to create a candidate set C3. So what is C3? The length of individual item sets will be a 3. Your bucket is having now 3 items. So we started with the individual item 1 length, then the subset of 2 length. Now we are seeing the subset of 3. So among these 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 5, we are going to create the bucket of all the 3 items which has been purchased together, and simultaneously we are going to write its support count. Here I have written only those values which fulfill and which ensure the support value. Let's count. And how we are going to check? Again, the logic is we are going to check from our base table. So let's see if our one of the subset is 1, 2 and 3, and we need to check that how many times it has been purchased. So we'll go to our base table which is given in the question, and we'll see how many times 1, 2, 3 has been purchased. So over the transaction T8 and T9, we have seen that these 3 elements has been purchased together. So now my support count value becomes 2. So for each subset of having the length 3, we'll find that. Now why I have written here these 2? Because these 2 subsets, these 2 bucket lists only ensuring me the support count as 2. Now class, what we have seen here that we have created the 3 candidate sets, and at the same time we have created the prune set also. Now we'll see, are we going to stop here? No. So from we will see that 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 5 are the elements which is giving you the support as 2. Now we're going to create the next candidate C4, and now here the length of the buckets or the subset value will be 4. So what will be my value here now? The value will be the subset which can I create from this is I1, I2, I3 and I5. This is only be the set possible which can be created from the previous value, from the 3 subsets. Now what we'll check? We'll check its support count for sure. So what is the 1, 2, 3, 5? How many times it has been purchased? You can see from the previous slide, this is the count of only 1. Now as the support count value is only 1, which is not ensuring minimum threshold, so this will be rejected. This will not be in my frequent bucket list. I will backtrack it and give my conclusion here that my final frequent item list is I1, I2, I3, I1, I2, I5. These are my 2 frequent items. So by this step आपका कंक्लूजन ये है कि हम नेक्स्ट 4th स्टेप की तरफ प्रोसीड करेंगे. We'll find the candidate set also, but हमारी support minimum threshold value अगर ensure नहीं की जा रही है, it means that is not going to be considered my frequent item set. I will come to the previous one. I will come and backtrack my step and find that whosoever is present in my bucket list, this will be considered as my frequent item sets. So if I say in my question has been asked me as a part that what are the frequent item sets. So my conclusion here is 1, 2, 3 and 1, 2, 5. These are the 2 subsets which are frequent item sets. Now my second question says that what will be my association rules? What is my association rules? So association rules obviously will be different rules from this set and the different rules from my set 2. But we need to ensure what? The minimum threshold. Are we going to consider here support 2? No. We are going to consider that my minimum confidence value here it has given as 60. So how to solve that? We'll see our next part. So what will be our next part is, which is a very important. What will be the association rules? So association rules can be calculated from the 2 set of frequent item sets. इसका मतलब हम second part की तरफ तभी proceed कर पाएंगे जब हमारे पास first numerical part, first portion is very clear and we are having some bucket list. उस bucket list को जो हमारे पास frequent item की निकली है, हमने उसे एक नाम दिया है, that is called as I is 1, 2, 3. This is my first, and second is 1, 2, 5. We have already seen, class, that I is representing here what? These are representing my bucket list, which is having the frequent item sets. Now what will be my second step is, my second step is I am going to create one set which is named as capital S. We are denoting it likewise, and that S is why, because we are going to create all the subsets of I value, or we are going to create the subsets of each bucket, each frequent items. What can be the subsets possible? Subset can be the 1, 2, 3. Subsets can be either the length of 2, that is 1, 2, 1, 3, comma 2, 3. What can be the other subset possible? The other subset can be possible the value itself, that is 1, 2, 3. So these are the subsets which we have created under the S value. So now we are having the two most important values, I and S. Both are the sets. I says that I am a frequent list of items, and S says that I am a subset of all the frequent items. Now it's your responsibility to create some association rules. So to create some association rules, we should know what will be on left hand side and what will be on right hand side. If X, then Y. So what is the fundamental rule here is, just the rule says that my left hand side is any value of S which is going to give you my I minus S. I can write here it again. Left hand side will be my S and my right hand side will be the I minus S. Now you may have the query that how many association rules we are going to create here. The total number of subsets, whatever the value present here, for each subset we are going to create the association rule. That's the other part, that if that particular association rule is not ensuring the 60%, we'll say it's an invalid rule, and whosoever rule is clearly defining you the confidence value as 60%, will say it's a valid rule. That's a clear perspective of this rule. Now class will see and consider the one value. What is a S? We can randomly here take S, like say it's a 1. So my first rule says that 1 will be on my left hand side. So what will be my right hand side becomes I minus S. I set may say please remove this S. So what is the S value? It becomes only 2, 3. So we have created the association rule. That's very simple. We have created the association rule. But is it ensuring the validity? Now we'll check there. So how we'll check here is this rule is ensuring the value. So what is the formula if you remember over the previous lecture? The confidence says that support of, this is the confidence of this rule is going to be calculated by support of A union B, whatever on the left hand side and right hand side, and the denominator will only be my support of left hand side, that is A. So it's very simple. We'll see that what is a A union B? A union B says that support of 1, 2, 3. How many times it has been purchased? It has been purchased 2 times. How many transactions total? Divided by 9. We'll see the denominator now. What is the support? A. Let's say how many times A has been purchased together. It means how many times 1 has been purchased. Let's say it is purchased 4 times over the transaction 9. So what is the value? 9 cross get cancelled. It will be 2 by 4. Then the 1 by 2. It's a 50%. So this is 50%. But our question says that what is the minimum criteria? 60%. So we have seen that this is a perfect association rule, but is it a valid rule? No, it's not valid rule. So we are going to find for each value. Let's say here the rules are already mentioned. The rule says 1 and 2 giving 3, 1 and 3 gives 2. Because you have to use this fundamental rule for creating association rule, and you have to just apply the formula for ensuring the validity. We are having the number of values here. Is these values are all valid? No. Until and unless we are having the 60% value over the right hand side, then only we can give the conclusion that this is the good or valid association rule. और अगर हम इसे इंटरप्रेट करेंगे तो हम इसे क्या इंटरप्रेट करेंगे कि अगर किसी पर्सन ने 1 आइटम को परचेज किया है तो 2 और 3 भी परचेज किया गया है with how much of good association or confidence? That is a 60%, and that's the validity of your rule. I hope this 2 questions subparts has been cleared, finding the frequent items and finding the confidence. So that's the final conclusion, giving the confidence value. Thank you all.